Welcome to Hometown Movies. My name is Michael Kelly, and tonight we're going to be talking about some of the work that's being done, not in the theater or on video cameras at home, but rather on Comcast Cablevision, the patron saint of us all here that brings you this program along with many others. Our guest tonight is Steve Hester. Steve is the producer and director of a number of programs here on Comcast Cablevision, and in particular the program Take No Prisoners. Where did you start doing video and film?
Well, actually with the United States Army back in 1982. It's a real funny story. I fell into film because I was a physical wimp. When I got out of high school, I started skydiving. Joined the Army, thought, gee, I can skydive really cheap.
Right.
Military. So
airborne.
So I'm in boot camp, and I flunked my airborne physical by 6 push-ups. And so they reclassified me. Gave me a book about this thick, said pick 5 jobs out of it. If there's one that matches, we'll give it to you. And I was in Denver, Colorado at my training base before I knew that I was an 84 Charlie, a motion picture camera operator. So didn't know what an f-stop was, had no idea, didn't know how to focus a camera, but it worked out really nice.
Well, you got one of those skills they always talk about in the TV commercials.
Right, absolutely. I'm a shining model of United States Army training commercials. Yes.
What was it like? What kind of training did you have?
We started out shooting lots of 35 millimeter still film, and went directly into shooting 16 millimeter. Extensive training. We shot black and white. We shot color. We learned to use all of the filters. We learned to edit everything by hand. Scraping, spitting on the emulsion and scraping it off and gluing all the film together. And we went through several weeks of audio editing school where we had to learn to be DJs and take large paragraphs and cut them up so that people were seeing things that they didn't necessarily say before. So it was excellent training in school itself. Do
you feel that, for somebody entering the field, do you think that really was good, solid technical training?
Absolutely. The military it's definitely not for everybody, but in my case it worked. Anybody that is interested in film or video, it's highly intensive training. It's all hands-on. A lot of employers in the field nowadays will take years of hands-on experience over years of college. The college tends to be textbook and not as much field problem solving within. So when I came out of the military, I know a lot of employers were happy with that. Not to mention the discipline and the valuable skills that come from that.
Speaking of somebody who's hired people, the honorable discharge does count. It doesn't mean you probably will show up for work in the morning.
Yes, it does.
What kind of work did you do after training? What kind of field work did you do?
I was stationed at Fort Hunter Liggett in California, and it was a field laboratory. We did documentary filming and later videotaping when they decided that film got a little expensive, of testing, evaluation of weapon systems and battle tactics. And they had these huge, gigantic battles that they ran in the field that were all came down to a screen that looked like a video game. Tanks would fire and you'd see a line go across and either this tank got hit or not with lasers and such. A lot of live firing of weapons. And our documentaries didn't really give conclusive evidence of the experiment itself, but more or less told how the experiment was conducted and what matters or what means they used to gather the data. It was pretty fun. A lot of aerial photography. That was one of my biggest fun spots there. A lot of riding on vehicles, and live fires were the best. It was great to set off in little cement bunkers off to the side, and watch missiles come in and just blow tanks to smithereens. Always made for a good shot. It was a photographer's paradise.
I always thought back when the video games really hit, you know, back in early 70s, mid 70s, I looked at that and I thought, the kids that are now freaking out over Pac-Man and are today Mario Brothers or whatever probably Ninja Turtles or whatever the video games are now that people are interested in, there was this sense on the part of adults that, oh, this is terrible, they're wasting their time and all. And I looked at that and I thought, these guys are going to be the Marines of the next generation. I mean,
Absolutely.
The next war is going to be fought on video screens, and these guys are going to have all the reflexes down.
Well, absolutely. They a lot of weapon systems that they're using nowadays are just a little bit more complex video games, and it's all hand-eye coordination. They never see the enemy with a lot of systems. They look on a screen and they see an image and they zone in on it and blast away. So they're not completely trash. I don't want my 7-year-old to hear that.
Well, you're 17-year-old, by guys, and train him on it. You've worked in both film and video. Do you have an opinion on the difference?
Well, gee, there's no question. There's a huge difference. Film is complete saturation. In color, there's no lines, no dots as in video. It's a much more beautiful image, but gee, you know, video it's great. It's instant. You record it, you can get right back. You can edit. You don't have to wait for it to go to the lab and wait several weeks possibly to get it back. No more rubbing saliva on the edges of the film and scraping that off and gluing it together. Of course, you know, with hot splicers and things, it's a little easier than that. They just taught us the hard way to do it so that we would appreciate the easy ways. But yeah, video it's great, especially for cable access things as we're here. It would be difficult for people to come in and do access work. If they had to learn to use 16mm film, I mean, anybody can come in and learn to use a video camera just to operate it and create shows such as this one and Take No Prisoners and some of the other cable access programs.